Welcome, guys, to the daily analysis for March 30th. In the weekly watch list, we had discussed in quite a bit of detail how the market changed its character last week. We went from correction through time to correction through price, and obviously that comes with its own adjustments. Going forward, we'll be focusing more on shorter term plays because the larger time frame of the larger trend of the market is now going to be consolidation. So shorter term plays within this larger context, when we get daily trends, we're going to try and capture them. All right. Overall, let's see what we have for today. In terms of news events today, we have Powell answering some questions or speaking at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 1 hour after the market open. And obviously that can cause some volatility because so far we have only been hearing from Trump about this Iran drama. The impact of it on the economic policies hasn't really been fully understood. All right. So Powell's answers might give an insight into that, and that will affect the markets. Now, on the daily charts, you guys already know we made the second lower low on Thursday, and we are in that second leg lower. So at this point, whenever the market does find a bottom, there's a high chance we'll get a consolidation and then a pretty big squeeze. Now, that squeeze doesn't have to start today, by the way. All right. That squeeze is something that we'll get this week and probably next week. Obviously, given where the VIX is, given the fear in the market, given where how we have dropped recently, a bounce here seems normal. It's almost expected. But then again, it doesn't have to be today. So where can it start from? If you look at the weekly charts, you guys already know the next major support is around here, 552 to 557. Once we get there, that's where we can potentially look for a bounce. So obviously in the pre-market today, we are in the range of Friday. On the larger time frame, the next major support is still a bit lower. So that's the situation on daily chart. What about on the hourly chart? On the hourly chart, you guys know, let me invert it so it's pretty easy to see. We broke lower on Thursday, had a bounce on Friday, and then we are in the second stage lower now. Now, in the second stage lower, until we cross the highs of the previous hourly candle, we're probably going to keep going lower. Now, in the pre market, we are obviously slightly higher, but that can change real quick by the time the market opens. The next major support is going to be this area on the weekly charts. Once this hourly downtrend is over, aka once we have closed above this hourly 9MA, then we likely start a base or a consolidation on the hourly charts that leads us for the squeeze. So that's the expectation. What that means for today is your neutral territory is pretty straightforward. It's from the highs of Friday until this area where we retested in the afternoon. So 564 until 570. So we had 576 as a level, 570 as a level. So we have 570, 567, and 564. Those were your major levels. And your neutral territory is from 564 to around 570. Not put it exactly here, something like that. All right. What about below that? Below 564, we likely go to 561 and then 558 area. And then obviously after 558, we have 555, which is in the thick of this support. Those are your levels on the downside. What about on the upside? Above 570, we can go to 573, potentially fill this gap that we left behind on Friday. And after that, we have 576, which was a major area last week. So those are your levels for QQQ.